Namaskar. 31st May happens to be the No Tobacco Day announced by World Health Organization, observed all over the world. And for past 25 years, we have been doing it in Karnataka. The reason is India happens to be one of the biggest tobacco industry in the world. India is the second largest grower of tobacco in the world. And that too, Karnataka happens to be the second largest growing in the whole country. And 6 million farmers are engaged in tobacco leaf production. 20 million people work in the tobacco farms, plays an important role in the Indian economy, and it contributes to 5% of the economy. But the time has come to search our soul. At what cost? At what cost is the question to be asked by the farmers, people working, and the tobacco industry. The reason is the tobacco use, either by smoking or chewing, whatever way it is taken, it damages the blood vessels, temporarily raises the blood pressure, and lowers the exercise tolerance. The person cannot do the work as much as a non smoker. The tobacco decreases the amount of oxygen, blood supply that can be carried to the whole body. 60 trillion cells in the body, they suffer with the lack of oxygen and blood supply when the tobacco is consumed. Blood clots can occur in the arteries, causing the various diseases like heart attack, gangrene, etc., including the stroke, and ending with the sudden death. Nowadays, we are finding lots of youngsters dying suddenly. That is because of the one of the causes for that is the tobacco consumption in them. Though the Indian women do not smoke, but nowadays it has become very popular among the college going students. And they are also taking gutka and pan in the lower strata of society. Tobacco consumption is learned to be more among the urban middle class women nowadays. And it's a high time the socialites and the rural people, whether they are in whichever place, the tobacco is to be shunned, and it is a single important preventable cause of sudden death both in men and women, and that has to be remembered. There was a time when the women used to light the lamp in front of God, but today they have started lighting the cigarette. The reason why I'm telling this, the Baltimore study has shown that women smoking, it affects the baby in their womb, and the weight of the baby will be low, and they will have the premature delivery, and the child will have right-sided heart disease. So whether it is men or the women, it's very important, more so in women, because it is a woman's role to see that her husband and her children don't smoke. And instead of that, she herself starts smoking, then it is a hell for the whole family. Now it is seen that every time the rate or the tax put by the government is increasing on the tobacco, but still, if anybody's smoking, even a moderate way, they'll be spending more than 3 to 4 lakhs in their lifetime. And with that, that money can be used for the education of the children and for settling their children. Unfortunately, the people think that the human beings are very intelligent and very brainy. But even the sheep, whom we say that they don't have the brains and they go in a herd and they follow one another, even they do not enter the tobacco field. More so, even the most poisonous snakes, who are always hunting for the rats in the field, they just do not enter the tobacco field. And so we have to learn a lesson. If a snake and the sheep know that tobacco is poisonous, why should the human beings go for it? And that is the reason we have to decide what is important. Who is a hero? Who is a zero? And What is common between the cigarette and the gun? Both kill. Guns kill instantaneously, cigarette kills slowly. But remember, one cigarette contains 1 milligram nicotine, and that once it is injected directly, a person can die suddenly. It is more dangerous than the cyanide, but a person is taking slowly. So here the hero is our Rajkumar, who never smoked on the screen or off the screen and always did yoga and lived happily till the end. Whereas the gun culture and the smoking culture is very bad, because a smoker, it is said jokingly, it is the fool at one end and the fire at the other end. So whether we are fools to have a fire and then smoke, one has to decide. And people think that it is very difficult once they are addicted to quit. No, the mind is very supreme. Frequent exposure to tobacco smoke, whether it is in the workplace or at home, nearly it doubles the risk of heart attack. And remember, now we have the nicotine patch to overcome the addiction. Smoking is associated with the both atherosclerosis as well as thrombosis. And as a result, it has been shown that the sudden deaths among the youngsters is mainly because of the tobacco consumption. Both men and women, they have started smoking. So 25% of all the heart attacks are directly due to the tobacco consumption. And what is heart attack? The heart pumps the blood to the whole body. And for its own nourishment, we have a left coronary artery and the right coronary artery. When there is a block in that, either due to atherosclerosis, which is caused by tobacco, or thrombosis, which also can be caused by tobacco, and once that place gets 100% occluded, the portion of the heart muscle supplied by that area, it dies off. And that is called as the heart attack. So tobacco contributes to the coronary artery disease both by atherosclerosis and by thrombosis. Here you can see in this picture that the thrombus is occluding the whole artery. That is the cut section. And this is mainly because of the tobacco consumption. And when a person has got a block, we cross it with a guide wire, do the angioplasty, put a stent, and all this is very expensive. Here is a 40 years old smoker. He had a heart attack, and then look at this right coronary artery, diffusely diseased, and then I put a stent and made him all right. So, but still, what happens is the blood vessels in the supplying to the upper limb, that is the hands and the legs, can be blocked and they have the gangrene, and then they have to go for the amputation. Every year, more than 20,000 people are losing their limbs because of the tobacco consumption. And this is how the blocked artery is opened up, and then we can put the balloon. Here, the left limb, the artery going to the left lower limb is blocked and that is opened. But this is the blood vessel going to the brain and that is blocked, and he has got a paralysis. And the stroke can also be due to the smoking. And apart from that, remember, if a person stops smoking, starts exercising, he develops the good HDL cholesterol in the body, and then further attacks can be prevented. But if he continues to smoke, drink, and then do the party, eat non-veg, and then his bad cholesterol will go up heavily. And hence, whether it is a poor or the rich, say no to the tobacco to protect your heart. Now, when a person is smoking, he takes only 15% of the smoke inside. Remaining 85% is left out. So all the people around him, they get the smoke. Whether it is his wife or the children, they are affected by the passive smoking. So now non-smokers who breathe the exhaust, or the person who is just blowing the air thinking he's enjoying, is literally killing the people around him, and that he has to remember. Recently, evidence shows that linking of the passive smoking to the heart disease, and hence it is very important that each year exposure to the second-hand smoking, that is the passive smoking, is killing more than 6 lakh people. And that is the reason one has to stop smoking. And remember, chewing tobacco in any form, it can cause the problem. And not only that, when they have a gutka or a tobacco containing any mouth freshener, they can have the ulcers in the mouth, and then they can't even open the mouth because of the fibrosis, and then the whole ulcer will open up, and instead of the mouth through which they have to eat, they'll have one more mouth by the side. And remember, the blood that is coughing out, it could be, it can happen to anybody who is taking tobacco or consuming in any form. And remember, what is important is almost 7,000 billion tons of paper are used to wrap the cigarettes. That is so much that literally it can be free books can be distributed to all the children in the world. And just imagine for the pleasure of 5 minutes and how much destruction is caused. And that's the reason in one of the American College of Cardiology conference, at the end of somebody's speech, I got up and told, "Sir, the smoking is suicidal because the person who's smoking is dying very early, prematurely, before he retires. It is homicidal because of the passive smoking. He is killing the people around him, that is his wife, children, and his colleagues. And then it is genocidal because so much of paper is used and so much of trees are cut and so much of harm is done to the ecosystem." And this is experimentally proved that in the laboratory, when they take the butts of the cigarette thrown by the people, and the toxins are so much, the 50% of the fish in the salt water or the fresh water, they are killed by the toxins that are present in the butts. And if the birds eat, even the birds die. And hence it is a time for us to kick the butt. It just not to throw it anywhere and everywhere. It is very important. So now the time has come. There was a time people used to blame the government, but now the government is trying their best to prevent it by putting the picture, and still people are not listening. And now we have to remember that tobacco is neither human friendly nor it is environmental friendly. Tobacco is a cheap, avoidable cause of premature death and ill health. Tobacco is killing more than 10 million people every year all over the world. Damage is unimaginable. When a person earning for the family breadwinner dies, what happens to the family? The whole family is shattered. So, impact on the family in particular and society in general is unfathomable and mind boggling. And hence, it is very important. In India, 5 million children under the age of 15 are being addicted to the tobacco. Just by the side of the school, they have got the hookah clinics. And outside it looks like a hotel, but inside the school children, they bunk the class and go to the hookah clinic to smoke. And hence it is a sincere request. These children, once they are addicted, they go for the smoking of marijuana and then to cocaine or the heroin, and then they die very early. And hence it is very, very important that we have to say no to tobacco. So we collected 10,000 signatures, gave to the then governor Chaturvedi ji, and then sent it to the central government to bring the picture of the cancer on the cigarette packet, because it used to be written injurious to health in a small letter and nobody used to read. And after all, when they're in a hurry to smoke and the urge is so much, they don't even bother. But now, the moment they look at the picture, which is so horrifying and then scaring, the 50% of smoking has come. And this is actor Shivram, who is to be always associated with us for the no tobacco, and he used to urge the children. We used to have the magic shows in front of the Vidhan Sauda, and we took the funeral procession of the cigarette also. But all said and done, one picture comes with the hero smoking, the children they go bonkers. And so it is the time has come that we have to say no to the tobacco once for all. And look at the irony. This man is hammering. This is the no smoking area. That is the advertisement. But what is he having in his mouth? The cigarette. So on one side, hammering the death for the others, and other side, killing oneself. So let us all say no to tobacco. Not only those who are smoking, they should quit. And those who are not smoking, they must tell others not to smoke. And this is how we know we have to have a army of people who are going to work against the tobacco consumption, especially in the children. Thank you very much. And God bless you all. Say no to tobacco once for all, for your own self, your family, and also for the society, and also for the environment. Thank you very much.